10 miles from the Russian border, Finnish voluntary reservists are sharpening their shooting and drone skills as the Nordic country drives to beef up its already sizable reservist force. Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine prompted formerly militarily non-aligned Helsinki to join NATO. And since then, tensions reminiscent of the Cold War have resurfaced along the forested 833-mile frontier. Lato is part of the Lauritsela reservists operating near the lakeside town of Lappeenranta.
This is only 16 kilometers to Russia from here, so we are that close actually. And that makes you think, so what if they decide to come to this side of the border as well, just like they went to Ukraine, without telling, or just like they came here in 1939.
Russia's foreign ministry did not respond to a request for comment. President Vladimir Putin has denied any plans to attack the NATO alliance and has said he did not see NATO rearmament as a threat. The number of Finns taking part in these voluntary activities is up by about a third since before the Ukraine war, according to the Finnish Reservists Association. And the country is also raising the reserve's upper age limit to 65. This would add 125,000 troops to a wartime army and take the number of reservists to 1 million by 2031. Finland will also host a new command for NATO in the eastern town of Mikkeli, a 2 hours drive from the border. Finland has long had a strong military and mandatory male conscription. Member of the Allied Land Command, Brigadier Chris Gent.
In the event that we ever moved into a conflict, this headquarters would be working alongside NATO forces in a command and control role that were deployed into the region.
For decades after World War II, Finland gradually opened trade and travel connections with Russia. Now, though, the E18 motorway that links Helsinki and St. Petersburg ends abruptly at metal barricades at the border. Finland closed the once bustling frontier over the arrivals of undocumented migrants in 2023. Helsinki saw this as a Russian policy response after it joined NATO. Moscow said it was abiding by rules and that Finland had adopted an anti-Russia stance. At the time, the borderline was hardly visible, but now the Finns are also constructing this 124-mile-long, 15-foot-high border fence, dotted with cameras and motion sensors in the most passable areas. Shopping malls and restaurants that buzzed with Russian visitors are noticeably quieter, as up to 13 million annual cross-border trips have stopped. On the other side, satellite images show Russia has slowly begun dusting off Soviet-era military bases and started some work on garrisons. The vanishing Russian tourists and trade has taken at least 300 million euros annually from a 5.5 billion euro local economy, the region's council said. And unemployment here soared to close to 15% at the end of last year, higher than the national average. While some businesses are unhappy with the changes, the chairman of a reservist club in Imatra, Sami Ilves, says most residents in border areas feel positively about the closures.
Totta kai se toi taloudellista tappioa varmasti, mutta turvallisuus samalla kasvoi, kun se laitettiin kiinni. Eli noin 80% voin väittää, että ihmiset on myönteisesti tätä mieltä, että rajat on kiinni.
Some residents with family in Russia feel differently. Oksana Serebriakova, whose grandfather was Finnish, moved to Lappeenranta from Moscow after the COVID-19 pandemic, looking for better opportunities for her teenage son. Her older son and the boy's father stayed in the Russian capital, with plans for frequent visits. But the border closure has split the family.
Я знаю, что закрытие границы действительно ущемляет нас просто как людей. И это неправильно. Ну, это дело не в том, что там мы русские или кто-то, а действительно вот, да, мы нацменьшинство, которых много в Финляндии. И мы с удовольствием интегрируемся в финское общество, мы стараемся. И мы считаем Финляндию уже вот, как вторым домом. Мы хотели бы, чтобы Финляндия стала для нас, для наших детей, вторым домом.
9 plaintiffs currently have a complaint pending hearing at the European Court of Human Rights. asking Finland to justify the shutdown. The two countries insist they pose no threat to each other. Finland's President Alexander Stubb has said some level of Russian buildup is a normal response to Helsinki's accession to NATO. The move more than doubled the length of Russia's border with the alliance. But a Finnish government defence report late last year described a heightened risk of an armed conflict. It cited the development of Russia's military capabilities since the war in Ukraine and said Moscow had ambitions to create a buffer zone from the Arctic to southern Europe. The Finnish government and president's office did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Hopes for a quick détente run low. In the meantime, Janne and his group push on with training. He says they've got 10 more drones on order, thanks to a grant from Finland's Association of Reservist Groups.